censoring himself to get that paycheck as if the Netflix deal wasn't enough.
That's what Kill Tony is. There's no business element behind it. There's no networks.
All right, let's see. Just gonna wait for people to file in. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully we'll have a fun time. Oh, man. Nah, I'm just fucking with you. Let's get sad. Let's get real sad. Let's peer to the heart of darkness. Man, I don't know why. I do know why. I was listening to this thing all about Joe Rogan, the comedy mothership. If you ask me why I was doing that, because I'm a masochist. Hey, RL, how you doing? Evening, blonde. Hey, Jack, playing vampire for a small look of play. You want to see what thanks for it? Yes. Oh, that's cool. That is cool. Yeah, I'd like to see that. Yeah, put in the Discord server. Let's see, did you do it already? No, not yet. Not yet. Oh man. But for the first time I got stung by a wasp. Ooh. Was it a bad one? Was it a big one or just like regular? I don't know what wasps in like Canada are like. I assume they're kind of like the ones in the continental United States. You know. Yeah, I got no regular one. Okay. Yeah, it kind of hurts. It sucks. It sucks bad. You know. I was listening to this thing. It was all about Joe Rogan, the comedy mothership, and I must be a masochist. I must be a fucking masochist because it just depresses the shit out of me. Let's see. It's in pics. Okay. All right, Catherine. I'm looking for pics. Where did pics go? Hold on. Hangout general, anime, blah 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 blah. Not safe for work. Psychedelics for this shit posting in general. Selfie pics. Oh, okay. Selfies and general pics. There we go. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's kind of cool. If you don't mind me saying, it's got a bit of that like Count Orlok look to it. You know, it's very cool. Yeah, it's, shit about comedy mothership and all that fucking bullshit, and just reminded me of like feeling that I had in the 90s, which is, man, when the jocks get involved with shit, it's just over. It's just over. The jocks got involved with comedy. Comedy started to suck. They got involved with podcasting. Podcasting now sucks. Like there's just, good Lord. They got involved with tech. Tech now sucks. And I don't know what to fucking say about it other than your glory days are past you, whether or not you actually had them. Maybe I don't know what makes up their brains. I don't know how their consciousness is formed. I don't understand it. I barely understand my own. All I know is that apparently my consciousness is just not made the same way as these guys because I just don't think like that. Hail Satan, Chris. Hey, Pinhead, Perry. Anyway, you can get access to Discord. Yeah. Hold on a minute. Let's see. Invite people. Yeah, if you want to join the Discord, there's the link. Should be able to hop right in. Well, chasing the almighty dollar is definitely part of it, Raw Ryle. You got our Brave enjoyed the regular stream. Well, welcome. But yeah. My daughter's one way to do it. The other is another is, I think, just a matter of mindset. Like we kind of they're these very competitive guys, and to them, like competition comes with bullying. You know, it's not about honor; it's about bullying with them. And I don't even know if they realize it. I think some of them do. I think some of them do realize it. I think some of them do realize that bullying is how they fucking get their way. You know, but I don't think that they understand that their version of competition is reliant on bullying. I don't think they thought it through that well. I don't think they've come to that realization because that might destabilize the whole thing. Whereas my opinion of competition is who does best. Is who did best at that particular moment. Oh, yeah. Well, that's the other thing. Like, bullies are largely morons. They're largely not that bright. And there's really nothing they can do to get around that. There's nothing they can do to get around that except get people to not think of it that way. To them, in their form of competition, says Jackson Wolfsbane, in order to win, all others must lose. Yeah, exactly. You know, if you're not first, you're last, you know, that kind of bullshit. Whereas I think, to me, it's very easy to see how one person is better than another, but did not do as well as a third person. You know, like that to me is very easy. I can see the gradient. I mean, for the love of fuck, we have first, second, and third place, right? Yeah, they still don't see it. You know, they still can't see it. It's all just about that number one. You know, and they're just so odd. It's so weird that, like, the jock mentality became the ruling mentality, you know, at large. Didn't used to always be that way. Didn't used to be that way. You know, used to be you had to have a couple of brain cells to rub together. Now, in the world of competition, I don't think you do. I don't think you need. They don't want you to have brain cells. You know. I mean, if you go into like, it used to be well known that if you became like very, very athletic, your comedy went down the drain, or you were never that good to begin with. Joe Piscopo's a great example. Carrot Top, great example. These are guys who became very athletic, and then everyone realized, oh, I guess they're really not that funny after all. And they weren't. They never were. It's by mainstream stand-up. It is. You still got really actually funny guys like Mark Maron and Patton Oswalt. You still have generally funny people, but like mainstream comedy scene is just what's mainstream. And mainstream comedy is just not going to be that funny because it's going to be filled with shit that you heard before. That's why it's mainstream. Mainstream is not about, it's not about experimentation. It's about latching on to a trend that is becoming popular so that you become synonymous with it, whether or not you did anything to actually make it happen. What about Bill Burr? Bill Burr's always been a pretty funny guy. He's always I've sometimes I like him, sometimes I don't, but he's an insightful guy. Not necessarily as insightful as some other comedians, but like I never thought him to be like I don't know if he's not as funny as the really funny guys, but like he's better than Joe Rogan. Christopher Titus, once again, not as funny as the really funny guys, but funnier than Joe Rogan. They are proficient. Josh Johnson is funny. Josh Johnson is really funny. Mark Maron has never been funny in the slightest? Oh, I disagree. I disagree with that. I disagree with that. Yeah, I don't know if he's as funny as Josh Johnson, but like I think he's funny. Brad Williams is a riot. He is a riot. But I'll give you the sad truth. Paul Mooney was legend. Yes. Yeah, well, yeah, of course it's been a long time since you watched a comedy special. Probably just like me, they became not that entertaining anymore. They started promoting guys like Rogan and I don't know, some other people. I look at comedy specials now and I see a cavalcade of names that not only am I not familiar with, I don't care. I'll hear like 2 or 3 jokes and just be like, meh, it's all right. But I realized more and more I didn't recognize who any of these comedians were, and I didn't really have a reason to look into them because I was really uninterested. I was very uninterested. Which I know is partially me. But I think comedy as a current comedy is not the edge. Fluffy's funny. Yeah, that's true. He is. Eric Andre, oh man, that guy can be really funny. I haven't seen his stand up, but his show was hilarious. But I was just thinking about how far that fruit has fallen, how far that apple's fallen from the tree. Like, you can't compare Joe Rogan to a guy like Carlin, like George Carlin, or Richard Pryor. It's it's not even in the same league. It ain't even the same fucking sport. You know? Yeah, it's just not the same. You know? And of course it wasn't going to be the same, but man. Yeah, he's one of the gods, man. He and Richard Pryor are like two of the gods of comedy, you know. Good Lord. I I've I don't know exactly what it is, but I do know that when you're standing up there next to the president promoting him, we're not talking about comedy anymore. We're talking politics. And that's a different beast. That is a different beast because one of the problems I have with the political arena and is that out of necessity, all speech is propaganda in the political arena. That's the way it works. You know, that's something that bothers me. I don't know. I don't see a way around it because I see politics like taking a shit. Uh, it's something you have to do. You know, sometimes we often do it reflexively, and it's nasty. You know, and it's nasty. But at the end of the day, that's only one way of dealing with things. And it doesn't have to be equally applied to everything. Politics doesn't have to be equally applied to everything. At least not all the time. You know, that's kind of the good news. That's kind of the good news. But I also realize that you know, I realize I'm part of the problem. I'm part of the mix in a small way. You know, I have my own propaganda, you know. Um and I even have my own apocalyptic visions, you know. My own apocalyptic visions that visions of an apocalyptic future that I'm trying to avoid. You know, I'm doing all of that. I do all of that. And I don't know what's different other than the political divide. You know, because to me, my politics for the most part, basically comes down to I think we should create systems to take care of each other. While also doing the business that is necessary for a stable state. You know, And I realize that's a little bit of a cop out because that's a hard thing to argue against. But I believe in public welfare. I believe in public health. I believe that the government should help facilitate those things. Because I think the idea of like this dog eat dog, the dog eat dog world that we all think that we live in is a terrible, terrible, terrible world. A terrible, terrible, terrible world that is no more true than any other version of the world, than any other vision of the world. Some incense is oily, yes. What will you be teaching this fall, RL? Yeah, Louis XIV didn't believe in public welfare either. Yeah. I do believe in public welfare. I believe in public welfare. I really do. And I also believe in the welfare state. Sorry. It's a global issues class. I'm going to start teaching my students the world and the people in it matter. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely, they do. Absolutely, they do. I think one of the biggest problems that we have is that we think that there is only one or a very few ways to matter in this world. And that's actually not the case. Also, mattering in this world is not the end all be all of everything. We're all looking for it, sure. But you don't have to find it, Because I think it turns out, because I think it, here's something I think is true, or I believe it in any case, is that what you need in order to have a personally fulfilling life is right at your fingertips. You just can't see it. You just can't always see it. And to be awakened is to see it. Is to see it. You're like, no, this matters. No, this matters. No, that doesn't matter to me. And I think all of those things that you see that matter to you, as well as the things that don't, are kind of what make you into the person, into a real person, into a fulfilled person. And sometimes, ironically, that will mean abandoning meaning altogether. Because you have so much. It's a way of coming at it again with new eyes that will hopefully see the things that are meaningful to you. So I learned things that impact the world, like power, conflict, consumerism, media, and gender. Yeah. Those all affect the world. Like, can't really argue against that. Gender's a tricky one because more than any of the others, gender is an internalized thing. Every single person
alive today is alive because someone dug a ditch.
No, every single person is alive today because somebody had sex with somebody. No one comes into this world without somebody having an orgasm. You know, nobody comes into this life without somebody coming. Yeah, it's a trap chasing meaning set by someone else's standards. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You don't have indoor plumbing without a ditch? Yeah, but you don't have life unless someone fucks. As an ace person, it does give me a bit of existential dilemma when I realize that. Why? You don't have to have children. I don't have children. I'm not planning on it. You know, it's only how people come into the world. Are you worried that as an ace person, you're not engaging in the act of creating life? I mean, I'm a hypersexual person, and I technically don't do that. There are ways around it. Patchouli's not my favorite. Oh. You know what? Let's use our last charcoal. Get a little ventilation going. Hey, technically speaking, homosexual people do not create life sexually either. I mean, they can. That doesn't mean they do, but I mean, ace people can. I can. I just don't. You don't need to create life to enrich someone's life. That's true. You don't need to create life to enrich others. And you don't need to create life to enrich your own. I stand more weight when I first realized I was ace. Yeah. Like, being ace doesn't cut you off from life. You're alive. I mean, it does mean, like, it's not part of your own personal path of meaning, you know? I heard someone say the tradwife thing is a right-wing dude's sexual fetish. Made me go, oh, probably. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you need that much predictable. I don't understand how, because I'm like, you need that much predictability to get hard? That's weird. Yeah. We all worry about being someone great, but I don't know that that's the end all be all. I've met, you meet a lot of people who are you'll run into a lot of people who are considered great who are like absolutely miserable motherfuckers, and some of them who are perfectly well fulfilled. You know, I think we all walk it, and you'll run into people whose paths were cut short. You know, their times are cut short, and they didn't have time to get there. You know, let's see. The wife of a good friend put it well. She said, "Parents of those having kids need the childless folks as well. It's supposed to be a symbiotic relationship in terms of how society works." Yeah. We're all somehow involved. We are all somehow involved in life simply by being alive. You know. Oh yeah, I would dare say that progressive thinkers are probably better at BDSM. No, it's just one of those things. Man, I feel a little bit weird because I'm feeling a little serious tonight. I always want to get on here and be fun, but sometimes the mood is not right. Sometimes my mood is down. Speaking of which, time for some medication. The concept of family having goes beyond having our own children. Yes. That is something white culture is particularly awful at. White Western culture is very, very bad at that. Very bad at having community outside the family. I meant you could be the cool. Yeah. You're still involved in the raising of children, even if you haven't added your genetic material to the mix. No. All right. I got to get something to take this pill with, so I'll be right back. I think for Normie singing, there's always been something. have many forms of libation. I also realized that I already had my one of my meds, so I shouldn't have another one. Oh yeah, no, AIDS is absolutely responsible for removing a lot of queer elders from the scene. Absolutely, absolutely, no doubt about it. No doubt about that at all. Yeah, concept of found family it's not just a millennial thing. They may have noticed it more when the millennials came about. But it's been a thing forever. I think it got bigger with Gen X and millennials. I think that's when people started noticing. People in like rural areas started noticing. Or started talking about it. You know? So they're all banded by boomer parents. In a way, yes. Yeah. I was thinking about why I like Cyberpunk the video game so much. And I realized, it's a world. The game gives me a world in which I don't have to put up with jock bullshit. It's amazing how well jock bullshit goes away when you're the best one with a firearm. Or the best one with a sword. Like, you don't, all of a sudden, you don't have to deal with that shit anymore. You have to put up with bullies. You know, that's part of the fantasy. The bully is the corporation, you know, not like the football guy. The football guy is relatively irrelevant to the genre. Does it count as found family if you were welcome to extended family? Oh, absolutely. You know, that could still be part of found family. It could still be part of family. You know? Yeah, any family it's found is found family. You also got to realize, Aurel, a lot of us are coming at this from the white Western European angle. And so there are a lot of assumptions about how family is counted. That doesn't exist as much in Filipino or Latino culture. Chinese culture is weird because you're basically related to everybody. Like I don't think there is such a thing as a non-extended Chinese family. Like the family that the Shens, you know, my father's family is huge. I don't think I've met everybody, but I've met so many that there is just this, there's just going to be family around. You know? Oh, the beautiful himbo that is Jackie Wells. Yeah, but he's not a jock. You know? He ain't a jock. He may be a bit of a meathead, but he ain't a jock. That's the thing. In video games, hard work is rewarded with power and wealth, while in the reality, hard work is rewarded with more work. Well, it's stolen. The value of your hard work is often stolen. O'Reilly says, yeah, because family is very common when you've just arrived in a new country and you were once a new. Yeah. Especially among Asian people. Because one of the ways that Asian people would immigrate is by claiming familial ties with someone they weren't related to by blood. You know, like that's a thing. That's a thing. They would become part of the family through law. And then you would just be like, okay, well, I'm taking care of this guy. So he's part of the family. And then eventually they just do. They just do become part of the family. Oh, you just start playing Cyberpunk Escape United? It's a great game. Hey, Nitro G, what's up? Is a thing in Mennonite culture too? True, but Mennonite culture is not as big as like Asian culture, if you know what I mean. Asian culture is a very, very long lineage. No, it goes back a ways. In the queer community, I've seen very interesting takes on it. I love hanging out with trans guys. Oh, yeah. It's kind of broken on PS4. Yeah, it is. I think I'd take streams while playing it. I don't know that it's a good game to trip on. Let me know if you do it. Let me know how that went. Hey Jack, did I get back? No, I did not. I did not get back to Linkara on that. I passed out last night and woke up pretty late today. So I had other things I needed to do. You know, it's interesting. It's interesting, the concept of family. Yeah. Well, what Western... It's really weird. It's not that Asian people aren't homophobic. Trust me. There are plenty of homophobic Asian people in Asian countries. But the way masculinity is defined is different. The way heterosexual masculinity is defined, more specifically, more appropriately and specifically, is defined differently. Like you put me in Taiwan or Japan or Korea, my masculinity would never be in question. Not ever. In the West, it is. You know. You know, there might be questions about whether I was a real man, you know, but there wouldn't be questions about whether or not I was male. I was a man. You know. They'll look at me as if I'm weird. I don't know about comfortable, little cat girl, but it's not it's not based around football. Is probably a good way of putting it. Asian masculinity ain't about football, whereas I feel like American masculinity is all about football. You know, how does Asian cultures view long hair on men? Oh, it's weird. It's considered weird. It's considered very weird. But like, this type of hair, like, they wouldn't know what they largely, the average person wouldn't know what to do with. Takes a subculture. Asian masculinity is about aura farming? I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't know what aura farming is. Let's see, what is aura farming? No. Aura farming refers to behavior in reference to an anime character. A character basically does something for the sake of looking cool. No. You know, like, don't get me wrong, it's still about toughness. There's still a fair degree that has to do with toughness. But, like, it still has to deal with toughness, but I think they recognize different forms of toughness. And I think there's a certain level of, like, intelligence and wisdom you're supposed to have. Not a lot. But, like, definitely, like, American masculinity has nothing to do with that. Has nothing to do with it. Oh yeah, boys don't cry. Yeah, that's definitely part of it. That's always a part of it, no matter where you go. But I think there's a bit more forgiveness. I see there as being a bit more forgiveness. Like, there are more ways one can masculinely cry in a lot of Asian cultures. Whereas in American culture, there are very few. Now, that might be the difference between 2 and 3 and 7. You know, like, you could probably still count them all on both hands, have a few fingers left over. You know, oh yeah, everyone's having trouble getting a job. That's not just you. The red pill community is, in my opinion, the ultimate expression of American masculinity. Which also proves how full of shit it is. That's the problem I have with the red pill community. Like, one of the things I think is very funny about the red pill community is it really honestly should be called the blue pill community. Oh, I've seen through the Matrix, man. No, you just double down on it. You just double down on it. What are you fucking talking about? If you took the real red pill as was fucking symbolized in the Matrix, you would realize what bullshit everything is. you would realize what bullshit status climbing is, what bullshit accumulating money is, what fucking bullshit being a bully is. And you would notice the actual mechanisms by which that illusion is held together. That's the awakening. That's getting through the illusion. That's breaking through the Maya. You know, seeing how these things work and how they are unnecessary and how they are not the truth. How they are simply assumptions or indoctrinated assumptions. You know, they are not necessarily true. And this is one of the reasons I think that stuff like trans people, I think this is why trans people get in such, well, why they have such a hard time with trans people. Because trans people represent a very uncomfortable truth, a very uncomfortable truth, which is most of what we assume as gender is performance. Notice I said most, not all. That actually is an important distinction. Like, there is such a thing as biological gender, but most of what we're talking about when we talk about gender isn't that. Like, unless you're a biologist or a medical doctor, when you say gender, you're probably thinking of gendered assumptions. That's what you're probably talking about. Of which, it's true. Large portions of what we consider gender is just a performance, whether or not we realize it. Because when you think about it in terms of evolution, of course it's a performance. Of course it's a performance. That's part of the idea. The performance is the, hey, look at me, I'm male. Look at me, I'm female. I want you to see me this way because that has to do with, if we're just talking strict biology here, that has to do with breeding. You know? But the gendered performance is in and of itself an evolutionary trait. Yet it is still a performance. Gets confusing. It's one of those weird things where they're like, no, it's God-given. And you're like, and? So what if it's God-given? It's still a performance. It's still largely a performance with a very specific biological truth at the bottom of it. But the performance, which is what we largely think about when we're talking about gender, that's up in the air. That's up in the air. Like, that can be determined by an individual. The gender performance can be determined by an individual. The gender identity can be determined by an individual. And even when we get to biology, we realize that even though that there are hard facts behind it, those facts are not as cut and dry as we want to think. That's the thing. Even the biological truth of gender is not as cut and dry as we think. Yes, the whole point of the performance is to attract mates. That's the evolutionary reason it exists. But does everyone who engages with it have to be strictly male or female entirely? Turns out no. Has nothing to do with that. It's the concept of gender runs on its own logic. And it is not a logic we understand very well. Because it's in the mind. If you want to talk about who has gonads and who has penis and who has vagina, you can look into that. You can establish facts based on that. But gender as a whole, no. No. You have to get to a very specific dimension of gender in order to do that. You have to reduce it down and ignore all the other factors in order to get to something that is factual and predictable. And then it turns out even then it's not that predictable. Yeah, no one's born wearing skirt or trousers.
To paraphrase Wild Zero, love knows no race,
country or gender. Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, if we're getting into love, now we're in a completely different territory. Love is not about facts. Love is about acceptance and attachment. It is about a personal truth that is not about facts. You know, I love saying, if you don't believe in anything that isn't a fact, then stop telling your children you love them. Because love is not a fact. You will not find an atom of love or a particle of acceptance. Those do not exist. It exists in the imagination, in the mind. The question is always, is it an illusion? Is love an illusion? I say no. I say it isn't. I say love is one of the realest things that you will encounter. And maybe that's just because we as a species are programmed to see it that way. But why not? Why should that make it a bad thing? If it is like time, if it is an illusion, it is a damn persistent one. No, I wouldn't say love is the only emotion. But I would say that it is one of the most essential. One of the most essentially human. If there is one thing that separates humanity from gross matter, it is our capacity to love. Which is not something you can easily disprove, is it? You can't prove love don't exist. And there is so much evidence for its existence in our reactions to the world. It must be true. It must be real on some level. Or it is one of the most persistent illusions that we can fucking have. But why does that need to be a bad thing? can't. Hard to argue against that love. Ah. I think seeking love is one of the meanings of life. I think it helps get a lot of us there. I don't know if it's the only one. I think there are other ways. There usually are. We're a strange and complicated species. But I know one thing, but I'm pretty sure of one thing, which is if you were not open to love, you probably are going to have a really bad time. You're going to have a bad time with this thing called life. You know? Think Elon Musk is happy? Hell no. That guy's miserable. That guy's a miserable son of a bitch. Guy is a miserable son of a bitch. You think Trump is happy? Nah, he's a miserable son of a bitch. These are people who cannot be content. That's the thing about the narcissist. The narcissist cannot be content. Is that a mellow vape or a tobacco vape? Oh. I see what you're saying. It's tobacco. I'm just naturally this weird. Yeah, I hate Elon Musk too. I don't think he does know. I think he's too narcissistic. You know, it's... Yeah, like... I try hard not to worry about the future of the world, and I try to leave that up to fate. I try to leave the fate of the world up to fate. Unless I can personally do something. But I also realize that something is going to be small. That something is going to be small. Those things are small. Or they seem small. You know, better way of saying it. They seem small. How do you matter in this world? Save a life. Offer comfort to somebody. You know, those things seem small in the grand scheme. But really, what else is there? Is it possible to cure narcissism? So far, no. Not pathological narcissism. Not the type of which Elon and Trump got. No. That's a sickness. That is a sickness that I do not think is curable from the outside. I don't know if it's curable from the inside. And I find it damaging to try. I think people who behave that wretchedly should be left alone. Well, as far as I can tell, I'm not an expert on narcissism. But from what I can tell, from what I can see, the problem is that their entire identity is made up of only what they want the world to see. You know, Yeah, I'm aware of the vampire as the narcissist. The narcissist looks in the mirror and sees nothing. I think my favorite vampire metaphor is the addict. You know? Do I speak Spanish? No. Can I understand it? Not really. Yeah, I think it can be managed. I don't know if it can be cured. Like, because I think... Honestly, I think it's a form of brain. In my opinion, this is just my opinion, it's based on no facts. My intuition is that it's a form of brain damage. Now, like I said, that's an intuition. Other than that, I have no idea. What I think is wrong with RFK Jr. Well, RFK Jr. has actual brain damage. He has actual brain damage. That's what that worm in his head's all about. That's brain damage. You know, having a worm in your head will cause brain damage. He should be put up as a great example of why you don't try to live this weird pseudo caveman lifestyle. Get brain worms. What do I think caused it? Might as well ask what causes brain damage. I don't think you do fix it. I think you tend to its victims. Other than that, no idea. RFK isn't a narcissist, he's an idiot. Yeah, he's an idiot with brain damage. Yeah, literal brain worms. And arguably a zealot? Well, yeah, I mean, clearly. Clearly. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't like the guy. No, he should not have been allowed to take public office. That should have disqualified him. Colonial trauma, anti-colonial rage. Ooh, there you go. That's a good one. That's a good one. So you're going the sinner's route. Or close to it anyway. You know? You know. The Oswang. Ooh. Yeah. Like, yeah, one of the things I don't understand how autism works. I mean, I can see it in people in which it is obvious, but other than that, I got no clue. I got no clue whatsoever. And so I don't think about it. I try not to think about it a lot. You know, since I don't understand it. I just accept it. Yeah, I keep hearing they're making a sequel to Labyrinth, but like, who knows? Who knows, Winter Hex? Who knows? Yeah, I know. He's like, I hate dead bears in Central Park. Yeah, whatever. Like, whatever, you crazy loon. To me, what's today's topic tonight? I don't know. We seem to be talking about narcissism and autism at the moment. Is the Mandarugo? Mandarugo. Okay. Could his family intervene and declare him? I don't know. I'm really not sure. One of my thoughts on the last Phantasm film, I thought it was okay. I thought it was all right. I kind of liked it. Wasn't the best of them, but I kind of liked it. It takes a lot for me to hate a movie. That's the thing with me. It takes a lot for me to hate a movie. Like, a movie has to really fail. A movie has to really fail for me to hate it. Or have a really repugnant message. Or just be really offensively stupid. Like, I've seen some movies that are just offensively stupid. I think of a lot of Adam Sandler films. So you know what I do? I don't watch them. I had enough of Adam Sandler in the 90s. And I'm just like, nope, not for me. Not for me. These movies are too stupid. Oh, Unfriended. That was a piece of shit. God, I hated that movie. Just so boring. Movie I hated with a repugnant message. Funny Games. Funny Games. The message of Funny Games was that you, the audience watching a horror movie, are what is causing all the pain. Fuck you. You made the movie. And now you're blaming me for watching it. Fuck you. You pretentious slug. Event Horizon may get a TV show? Sure, I'll watch that. Yeah. Then you get things like Zombievers, which are like stupid but awesome. Yeah, I hate those movies. I hate Funny Games. I hate both versions of it. It's awful. I got famous for for hating Jennifer's Body, but like the movie I truly despise is Funny Games. That's the one I really despise. That was one of those movies where that was a movie where I was like, oh, fuck you. The movie cheated. I didn't think it was possible for a movie to cheat. That movie cheated. This funny game's coming under the category New French Extremity. It might. I definitely wouldn't put it in the same categories as the ones that I liked. I would not remake funny games at all. I would refuse that project. Like, are you fucking kidding me? No way. Because anything I make would not be funny games, because I would never make that movie. Jennifer's Body's queer messaging is perhaps the only thing it really has going for it. I liked In a Violent Nature, although yes, it ain't a pulse pounder. Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh God, what was that called? The Forum? I think it was called The Forum or something like that. You know, like I hated that thing because that movie. I hated it because that movie cheated, and it had a bullshit message. Oh, you're the reason this is. Oh, fuck you. Oh, fuck you. Like, I was with that movie. I forget. I think it was called The Forum. I was with that movie right up until the end, and then it shit the bed at the last minute, and I was like, oh, fuck you. Oh, boy. You know, but there are very few movies I hate. The Den, that was it. The Den. That was one I hated that movie. You know, another movie I hated was Holy Motors. That's not a horror movie, though. That's just French pretension at its worst. Yeah. Where the writer or where the creator of the work shames the audience for liking it. You know, it's like, oh, fuck you. Yeah. Funniest movie of all time. Jerry Maguire at the end when Patton's brother yells, fuck you. What's The Den? It's a piece of shit. It's a horror movie. It's a found footage horror movie that that has one of those bullshit messages of, oh, it's the internet's fault. And one of the reasons I hate the idea that extreme art inspires this type of extreme behavior is we let the actual perpetrator off the hook. I take it you just avoided Emilia Perez. I haven't heard of it. Emilia Perez. French musical crime. Yeah, I haven't watched it. I don't know. I didn't see it. Didn't look like my cup of tea. Is Holy Motors actually a horror movie, though? It is not. Holy Motors is not a horror movie. Oh, Dracula Untold. Yeah, that one's just kind of bad. You know, the movie's just kind of bad. You know, there's a difference between I hate it and it's just bad. You know, like you gotta really insult me in order for me to hate your movie. No. It's not just you, Ryle. Like Holy Motors it's hard to sit through. It actually is difficult to sit through. You know, because you're sitting there going like, okay, what's going on? What's the point of this? And then when he gets to the point, you're like, what? What? Turns out the internet is the death of culture. Oh, fuck off. You took 2.5 hours to say that? In the most roundabout, stupid way possible? Who the fuck told you that you were smart? They need to be fucking punched in the face. You know, like usually I like arty films. I love arty films, actually. But that one was just pure pretension. You know, it wanted to be deep, but it wasn't. That's what pissed me off about it. It's like, it so wants to be deep. It is not deep. You know, there are a ton of other movies. There are some other movies that I was like, oh, this one's trying to be deep, but it's clearly not. But I like generally avoid them. That one, however, Holy Motors came recommended, so I watched it and I was like, I fucking hate this movie. You know, Holy Motors is a movie. It's a movie. It's a French movie. It's the type of pretentious French movie that people make jokes about. Holy Mountain is amazing. Holy Mountain is a great movie. Holy Mountain is a great movie. You know, Holy Motors wishes it was Holy Mountain. Because Holy Mountain is about something interesting. It's not some crank talking about why the world sucks. It is about piercing the veil of illusions. Ever had a movie you would have liked, but the fandom got to you first? Oh, man. Most of the Star Wars shows. Star Wars Rebels, Star Wars Clone, the animated Star Wars films. A lot of those. I have this weird, like, fucking relationship with that. I don't tend to, like, get along with animation fans. I like animation, but I don't tend to get along with its fans very well. Not anymore. Like back in like the 90s and early 2000s, yeah, I got along with animation fans just fine. You know, but yeah, like these days, like no, not all. Not at all. I've like it's I can't stand animation fandom. It annoys the fuck out of me every time. Top 5 animated movies. Let's see. One of them would have to be heavy metal. Another one would have to be rock and roll. Other than that, I'd have to think about it. I'd have to think about it. I don't know if I would consider Wizards to be one of the top 5. Although that fairy chick is definitely one of my top 5 favorite babes in animation, I'll tell you that. Paprika, that's an excellent one. Yeah, that should be on the list. Akira. And My Neighbor Totoro. I think that's it. I think those are the top 5. Oh, Transformers the movie. Shit, you're right. Ooh. Ooh. Well, to keep it to 5, I'd have to knock another one off the list. So Transformers the movie, Heavy Metal, Rock and Rule, My Neighbor Totoro, Paprika, Akira. Ooh, oh, I got a problem. Shit, I'm stumped. If I gotta limit it to 5, one's gotta go, and I don't know which one. It's not Akira, I know that. So I guess either Rock and Rule or My Neighbor Totoro would have to go to make it 5. Ooh. I guess Rock and Rule would have to go. You know. So Transformers, Heavy Metal, My Neighbor Totoro, Akira, and Paprika. Who Framed Roger Rabbit is a bit of a cheat. Rock and Roll is really good, actually. It's a lot of fun. What's Paprika about? Ooh, wow. It's about dreams and dream symbolism and how dreams affect our lives. That's the best way to put it. You never heard of Rock and Roll? I would check it out. You know? Yeah, dreams and reality and how they intermingle. That's Paprika. It's really good, in my opinion. See, the thing is I like Paprika a bit more than Perfect Blue. Perfect Blue is great, though. Yeah, sounds right up your alley. Yeah. Check it out, man. Check out Paprika. It's great. Let's see if I can find the... Let's See, but I'll show you some of the intro of Paprika. Give you a little taste there. Let's see. Yeah, that's basic. That's part of the intro. Like one of the things I love the most about Paprika is the main character is the girl of your dreams. Oh, I thought that was so cool. Yeah. The big fat guy is like finds love in the end. You know, it's awesome. Actually, the character that fucking I really identified with was the cop. You know, the cop, it's funny I would identify with a cop, but like I really identified with that guy. You know. Yeah. Paprika's a great movie. And it did inspire Inception, which I think is actually... Inception's about movie making, dreams and movie making, whereas Paprika is about dreams and reality. Oh, God. All right. I'll show you another clip that I fucking love because I'm like, damn, fucking Satoshi Kon, the director. You got a lot to say about Japanese culture, don't you?
It's a showtime!
Some dark shit, man.
まだ夢を見てんのか。
ええ。Yeah, the movie's a trip. The movie is a trip. Oh, man. Oh, geez, the scene that freaked me out the most in Paprika is when the guy jumps out the window. Because you're not expecting it. Even me telling you that there's a scene where a guy jumps out the window, you're not going to expect it. Because, like, I knew it was coming, and I still was just horrified. You know? Is there a Studio Ghibli movie you don't like? No, so far, no. So far, no. I've liked all of the ones I've seen. I haven't seen all of them, but, like, I've seen a lot of them, and I haven't seen one I hated, I didn't like. Problem I have with Christopher Nolan is he's really into the mind and obsession, but I don't think he understands people very well. You know, he's not of the heart. He's of the mind, you know, and I think the mind is very interesting, you know. And so I'm glad there's a filmmaker like him, but like when it comes to his actual characters, like there's a lot to be desired. Crow reboot was bad. It was just bad. It was just bad. Yeah, Paprika's a great movie. I really, really like it. Yeah, let's watch a rap battle.
Mr. Motor City needs some medicine red. My lines are a production, your lines are bred. Disassembling timepieces is how I got my start now. Watch me tear your ideology apart. You scream unite the workers, free the class slaves. Lose your chains, trade them in for mass graves. I would stop it. Wow, appalling mounts of body bag. When a world leader likes you, that's a red flag. I produce with my two hands, you're a destitute tramp. Scheming to trade bootstraps in for food stamps. Any person tried to seize my private property will catch a torn prince to his private parts properly. Who takes advice from a broke slob? It's laughable. I wouldn't wipe my tailpipe with your DOS capital. If you'd saved a penny for restarter you named Jenny, you might not have needed to bury quite so many.
Who's that proud young Hungarian, heavy drinking card carrying, future thinking legal letter Inca proletarian? It's Karl Marx, prepare to be Reichstone. I'm dropping you like Hitler dropped your name in Mein Kampf. My codes of didn't cause mass grave. You get that from books, but you didn't read shit. Your self-made man studies dumb from a tourist. Your daddy's two hands gave you a free fall and forest. You were the first of 6 kids till the 7th killed your mother. Maybe that's why you smiled at your workers like Big Brother. Your Model T, total lack of style is killing me. They can take shit from you according to ability. Do what your first car can't and back up. Beating is like your city in Brazil. Nuts!
Woo, don't step that close without some beard shampoo, son. You lived in Cologne. Look like you could've used some. I drip with style like a dipstick drips oil. You look as sick as your chronic dick boil. I'm mass producing abuse on a utopian hobo. I'm throwing you for loops like the F of my logo. I gave men work, you brought nothing but harm. Take your blues while pig shit back to Animal Farm.
Your factory conditions were bleak, cramped with machines, cranking out 4 severed fingers a week. You controlled what employees could think, drink, and eat. And when they marched for better wages, shot them dead in the street. In truth, what you produced were alienated working men who would clock into Detroit and lose themselves like Eminem. And now your Great Lakes State ain't exactly a great sight. You were West of Michigan and Flint's water pipes.
You griped about oppression, don't leave me impressed. You're not hot, Carl, that's just shit on your chest. For a man to state less, you got an awful lot to say. I pay you $5 a day to go away. Your buddy Angles bankrolled you with this textile bill. I guess the capitalists are cool when they're paying your bills. You're a hypocrite, a nitwit, his love with substance issues. Step off your soapbox, take the soap with you.
Look, dummy, shedding money is the communist vision. Engels Bank was the crank that got the revolution spinning. We gave everything to see the the common people advance. I'm so down with the cause, I even pawn my own pants. You grew so out of touch, you sabotage your only kid. It's a stomach cancer, showed more love than you did. So congrats, your legacy is in ashes. Remembered as the fascist sympathizing cause of climate change and car crashes. From your newspaper to your Nazi factory, cross the pond. Frankly, Hank, it's clear as which side you are on. This battle's been applauded like that hemorrhage in your head. I leave a floor as expected, found on road dead.
Hold on! Hold yeah! Show
That was fun. Well, I don't feel like it's time to go just yet. But I do find myself wondering. Like, what's that life all about? Is there a point? What's the point? You know? You know what? This right here
There is a point.
is
there a
something
point
that
to all this?
Joe Rogan can't hold a candle.
Let's find a point. Is this real? Or is this just a ride? The world is like a ride. You think it's real? It's just a ride. We can change it anytime we want. It's only a choice between fear and love. The world is like a ride. You think it's real? It's just a ride. We can change it anytime we want. It's only a choice between fear and love. Life goes up and down, round and round. It has thrills and chills, and it's very brightly colored. Up and down, round and round, and it's very loud. Don't worry, don't be afraid. It's just a ride. And we can change it anytime we want. It's only a choice between fear and love. Why are we here?
I think we're part of a greater wisdom than we will ever understand. A higher order. Call it what you want. Know what I call it? The big electron. The big electron. The big electron. It doesn't punish, doesn't reward. It doesn't judge at all. It just is, and so are we. For a little while. The ride goes up and down, round and round. It has thrills and chills, and it's very brightly colored. Up and down, round and round, and it's very loud. Don't worry, don't be afraid. It's just a ride. And we can change it anytime we want. It's only a choice between fear and love. The big electron. It doesn't punish, doesn't reward. It doesn't judge at all. It just is, and so are we. For a little while.
You know, like, Joe Rogan will never be Bill Hicks. He'll never be on that level. It will never happen. You'll just have to live with that, I guess. Yeah, let's watch another. What's the name of this vid? It's Bill Hicks plus George Carlin, The Big Electron by Melody Sheep. I'll play another video. A little more sinister. But I like it.
Fetid fields, revealing husks of lovers past. The shells are all that ever last. I've taken everything that they've concealed. When I told you life was fair, look around you everywhere. The cruelty of nature is displayed. It's gone. The surprise. Everything that's born must kind of deny. Who made the world that way?
Yeah, it is the same animator from season 5. Nina Paley.
What wicked little twist of fate placed you here upon my plate. Here where no one hears your cries. Where was your God to steer you through? Perhaps your God's forsaken you. Otherwise, why lead you here to die?
Merely moments now until your feeble flesh bends to my will. salt upon my silky threads.
There's Apep. Yeah. Let's see, like, there's something about being the voice, of darkness, you know? Let's see if I can find this song here we go, yeah.
Hush, my baby, hush. This ain't love, it's just a crush. And pray, my baby, pray. Hope to God he goes away. And cry, my baby, cry. Anything is worth a try. But hush, my baby, hush. If he hears you scream, he gets a rush. His dogs are running all around. I figure they're inbred. They're all crooked, they're all wicked. And I don't think they've been fed. And his neighbors would feel better if they chained him up instead. He's got a Chevy in the backyard, built in 1964. Body still looks pretty good, but it don't run no more. And there's still blood in the backseat, in them shoes that hooker wore. So hush, my baby, hush. This ain't love, it's just a crush. Pray, my baby, pray. Hope to God he goes away. And cry, my baby, cry. Anything is worth a try. But hush, my baby, hush. If he hears you scream, he gets a rush. He lived up in that shack. He never had no name. A roof that needed patching, were nothing in the rain. He kept a sickle by the front door. He said he used for cutting cane. And he grew up on the mountains where all them folks are poor. And then there were the rumors about what he did behind them doors. He never knew his daddy. He went to jail for killing whores. So hush, my baby, hush. This ain't love, it's just a crush. And pray, my baby, pray. Hope to God he goes away. And cry, my baby, cry. Anything is worth a try. But hush, my baby, hush. If he hears you scream, he gets a rush.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Red Riding Hood, too. Yeah, very Southern Gothic.
Jeb Hollins was a good man. He never did no wrong. At night he worked the still. Sometimes he stayed too long. One morning when he come home, he found all his daughters gone. So he went up on a mountain, and he took along his kin, Nebo, Wasco, Sauncey. They were gonna burn the shack down, burn up everything within, skeeter, sticker, skirvish. Yeah, but no one's ever heard from the Hollins clan again. So hush, my baby, hush. This ain't love, it's just a crush. Pray, my baby, pray. Hope to God it goes away. And cry, my baby, cry. Anything is worth a try. But hush, my baby, hush. If he hears you scream, he gets a rush. Hush, my baby, hush. If he hears you scream, he gets a rush. Hush, my baby, hush. This ain't love, it's just a crush.
Let's go on to something a little more lighthearted.
I remember this over a meal ago.
Said Tommy the cat as he reeled back clear whatever form out of him, this little sway into his mighty throat. Many a fat other rat met his demise while staring point blank on the cover's barrel. This awesome prowling machine, truly a wonder of nature, the stubborn predator. Tommy the cat had many a story to tell, but it was a rare occasion such as this that he did.
You roll in the meat, family enough to arouse suspicion, and even the orders that I could around my spot in those days. I was beyond belief. Many a head snapped up, and the triple takes, the vibrations, felines made away, and delved in the alleyway where most near our young tablets were known to hang out. They hung out in rows. Such an altitude of masculinity could only be found in one place in the whole city. The air was thick with catcalls, no pun intended. But not even a muscle in the neck did twitch as she sauntered straight to the heart of the alleyway. She knew what she wanted. She was looking for that stud bull. She was looking for that he-cat. And that was me. Tommy the Cat is my name. And I say unto thee. Say, baby, do you want to lay down with me? Say, baby, do you want to lay down by my side? Baby, do you want to lay down with me? Say, baby. Say, baby.
by my side, baby? Do you wanna lay down with me? Say, baby. Say, baby. Say, baby, do you wanna lay down with me? Say, baby, do you wanna lay down by my side, baby? Do you wanna lay down with me? Say, baby, say, baby, do you wanna lay down with me? Say, baby, do you wanna lay down by my side, baby? Do you wanna lay down with me? Say, baby, say, baby. Say, baby. Say, baby, do you wanna lay down with me? Say, baby, do you wanna lay down by my side? Baby, do you wanna lay down with me? Say, baby. Say, baby. Say, baby, do you wanna lay down with me? Say, baby, do you wanna lay down by my side? Baby, do you wanna lay down with me? Say, baby. Say, baby.
Yeah, here's another one. Let me give you another great song. It's got a message, an important message. A message for our time.
I wanna take you to a gay bar. I wanna take you to a gay bar. I wanna take you to a gay bar, gay bar, gay bar. Let's stop. Stop. At the gay bar.
Oh man, that song's almost 10 years old. Damn. Hey, tell you what, let's play this. I like this.
Across eons and the endless gulf, the undying cosmic dance, a desolate pilgrimage beyond the stellar sea. The Black Gate opens. Epochs beyond reckoning, the unfathomable depths of time. With threads of starlight I yoke the blood of life, seeds of consciousness sown in suffering. Faithful blood pump, sink your teeth into our beautiful planet. Pierce the star of life. Lost celestial body, you awaken in me a voracious desire. I feel your entire being brimming with delicious nectar. You are the radiant cradle of my existence. I am preparing to draw your life, to infuse it into mine. The flower is so thirsty.
Oh, the voice is Doug Bradley. It's man. Oh, the song is called Blood for the Blood God.
Illumination. awaken in me a voracious desire.
And in case you were wondering, it is a song about the forces of 40K chaos. Okay, I think that is good for tonight. I shall see you all. I may or may not be around tomorrow. It all depends on how long. I'm talking to my dad tomorrow night, and so I want to give that some time. So if I'm on, it'll be might be after 7. But until next time, Ave Satanas, Disco Inferno. Remember, Satan and I love you all very much. And until then, treat yourself right. Get out, do something that you're a little afraid of, but you really want to do. And I will catch you next time. Hail Satan.